Right, may I ask Miss Vivian to turn on your camera? So, yan. All right. Sige. Okay, moving on to our next speaker. She will talking about how leaders can manage your organization uh, during a crisis. Come on, let's be honest, okay? Some of us didn't really plan for this situation. This is really a time of uncertainty. So are we gonna make or break? No? It's hard because it was never easy and we didn't see this coming. We even heard it from a feng shui expert, no, that the year 2020 is going to be a strong and prosperous and lucky year. And everything that the master said about 2020 may be the opposite. Maybe the opposite, no, of what's currently happening today. And I still believe that, sabi ko nga sa previous webinar, no, when the things do not go your way, remember that every challenge, every adversity contains within the seeds of opportunity and growth. All right, so let's keep it pumping. I think our next speaker is with us already. So let's check if she's with us already. Would you like to greet your viewers, Miss Vivian?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Hope you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, we're hearing you fine. Can our viewers
Thank
hear
you.
Miss Vivian?
Morning, Jess.
Good morning. Right, I think they're hearing you fine. So let's proceed. So to provide you more details about our speaker for today, she is a senior business leader with exposure in selected Asian market. No? She's also the Chief Organization Capability Officer of iLeap Management and Consultancy Services Incorporated. She has been in the field of human resources function for more than 2 decades. A versatile in her field of competence, she has in-depth knowledge and skills in all facets of the function. She completed her certification program in project management at the Asian Institute of Management Strategic Leadership course online via Columbia University, and a certified HAY or Job Evaluation Methodology practitioner. She is also an IECL or Institute of Executive Coaching and Leadership by Growth Ops certified coach and the first Filipino CPHR Global Training Partner. She took up liberal arts and commerce, major in political science and accounting at MS Enverga University Foundation, where she graduated cum laude. Off work, Ms. Vivian is active in civic organization and is presently a volunteer at Bahay at Yaman in San Martin de Porres in Bustos, Bulacan, and the president of BYSMP, or the Blessed the Children Foundation in Tondo, Manila. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Vivian Cruz. Thank you.
Thank you, Jester. And again, good morning, everyone. As what Jester have said, no, we were all caught by surprise last March with regards to the outbreak and with regards to the enhanced community quarantine, as we call it here in the Philippines. So let us just try to understand first, no, what do we mean by crisis? Although I'm sure everyone is already familiar with it, but any unpredictable event, that can happen to us, to the organization, or even to the country, which can cause potential risk, is classified as a crisis. So crisis in general is negative in nature. When we hear the word crisis, it doesn't connote positive side, no, it's always seen as negative. And probably it would be good to take you some through time. Na this is not the first time that we have a crisis. Okay, so I still remember when I was a little bit young, Jester. So there was a big issue about the Tylenol. Remember the medicine, the over-the-counter medicine for headaches, and because of that issue, Tylenol almost crashed, no? And but this led to the reformation wherein all over the country drugs, okay, should now have some packaging to protect any poisonous material to be injected into the drug. There, you can also talk about the automotive crisis in 2008 to 2010 that almost made General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford collapse. No, in fact, General Motors declared bankruptcy during that time. And in the Philippines, okay, when you grew up in the 1990s, you can still remember that we had experienced 8 to 10 hours rotating brownouts across the country. And this led to a different way of doing things. So in the Philippines, it led to the implementation of the build, operate, and transfer scheme for the power industry. So with us now, we could never feel any downturn. So I'm trying to understand and try to read how this pandemic outbreak, caused, and as shared by everyone, this put our business continuity plan at a test. But somehow, if you look at our BCP or our business continuity plan, you could say we did not capture this. We did not capture the physical distancing. We did not capture that we will come to a point that we should stop operation, or that we should rotate employees, or that we should reduce the number of employees that we need to report for work, because it will affect the health and security of our people. So I'm trying to understand it, and I come across the word structural break. Structural break is actually used by economists, no? And this is where you try to understand in a time series data, okay, wherein there are changes in the trends and the patterns. And if we convert it into the business parlance, it talks about fading away of certain business norms, no, giving way to the new norm, because what we do now, okay, will not mean effective, or it's no longer working, no, moving forward. So, and because of this is a very volatile condition for all of us. I think if we are all abreast with the news, there's already 2 million employees who are already unemployed at this time. Because during structural break, almost companies who are not able to adapt will collapse and vanish, no? And during this time, there are two things that we need to take into account: survival and how to take benefit from this new pattern. But before we can even go to the benefit side, okay, the first and foremost question that we should answer, hopefully, in this session is how to survive. Okay? So, in as much as we would like to look into, we need to come up now with a new strategy, okay, in terms of how to survive this pandemic outbreak. And we should help our businesses in terms of coping up. I just would like to highlight that a strategy is different from a plan. A strategy is trying to identify the decisive point, okay, and concentrate everything on it, removing the secondary points and ignoring the lesser objectives. Okay, if it's not something that can help us survive, that can help the business survive at this point in time, okay, let us just park it, okay, because this is not what matters most at this point. So if we look at it, we're talking about the comprehensive response to the challenges. It's an overall approach based on how we diagnose the challenge, and the strategy that a company may adapt may be different from the others, because this is the time where one size doesn't fit all. You need to really look into your respective businesses, and if you do understand how your business operates, it would be easy for us, especially for the HR practitioners, to be able to adapt. In fact, I was talking to a client at this time, and he was sharing with me that this pandemic outbreak is a test of HR endurance. This is the test of the HR capabilities, no, our competence as HR practitioners to help our organization adapt to the new norm or to the new today. So I was reading a McKinsey and Company report, and they talk about the 5 horizons that the leaders need to think and act during this crisis. Okay, so the first item is resolve. Resolve is about addressing the immediate challenges that the crisis represents. And at this point in time, there are, for me, 3 major, okay, items or major things that we need, major challenges that we need to address. Okay, these are: 1, the employees' health, because exposing employees to public can damage their health and can even lead to death, no? Then, second is the safety of the employees. Third is security. Security is not just employee security. It also talks about financial security of the business. And I think this is something that we in HR should be mindful of as well. Okay? Financial security is key. The cash flow. So as much as possible, let's keep our cash. And we need to help our businesses think of ways on how to manage cash, because cash flow is difficult at this point. So once we're able to identify the strategy on this side, okay, it would be easy for us to adapt. And um, second is resilience. Resilience, no? We Filipinos are known to be resilient. And resiliency in here is identified as addressing the near-term cash management challenges and the broader resiliency issues brought about by the economic breakdown. And during those times, when we talk about resilience, there are two things that I would like to share with you that we need to focus on: speed and discipline. Speed because we need to be fast in terms of our decision making. Okay, because every day counts. Okay, we need to be fast in terms of how we decide and how we act on things. But at the same time, we also need to be disciplined. We have to have a structured way of doing things. It also means disciplining ourselves in terms of thinking what would be best for the company and for the employees. I do have high respect to the other HR practitioners that we have, but if you look into resolving and resilience, we may have resolved issues by providing all benefits that we can extend to our employees. But the next step is that, is it sustainable for the business? So as leaders, we also need to have the discipline to balance it out. Because again, cash would be cash would be very difficult in the next coming months. We already have experienced it for probably a month or two now, but in the projection, we will be experiencing it in the next 3 months, 6 months, or probably a year as an after effect. Okay. So third is about return. So return is now about the detailed plan on how we can return or ramp up the business so that we can go back to scale quickly. How fast can we go back, or how fast can we adapt to the new norm would be key to us as well. So we talk about protecting the employees, reassuring our customers, okay, that we are back to operations, that we can deliver, okay, what they need from us, and restore the supply chain. And once we're able to bring back all of those three items, we need to make sure that we always review and make necessary revision or amendment if need be. And that would accelerate, our capability to adapt to the new norm or to manage the crisis. The fourth and fifth is reimagination and reform. In reimagination and reform, we need to visualize what is the next normal. Okay, we need to visualize how it looks like. What would be the implication to us? Okay, and we need to make sure that we are clear in terms of how we are going to lobby or express, the concerns or the challenges that the new normal will bring to the regulatory or to the government so that they can help us out in terms of policies and law. So in here, we should be able to ask ourselves, what is the new norm? How can it be possible? And what does a day after look like? A lot of us love the visioning board. And if you can do a visioning board, okay, by visualizing what would be the new norm, how can we still be effective, okay, with this new norm, then it would be able to help us understand what are the areas that we need to improve on as an organization. And in here, I've always put a triad here between the organization, the industry associations, because they will play a key role in serving as our voice, and the government in terms of policies and reforms that we need to execute so that we can bring back the business. May not be on where we are right now, but at least close to where the norm is. Okay, and so just to recap, so I was thinking of resolving, resiliency, returning, reimagination, and reform as the 5 horizons that a leader should think and act. And as an HR leader, and this is particularly true for all the business leaders who are in the room, and by the way, to all the participants we have here, because everyone has a stake in the business, so I see everyone as a leader leading themselves. So there are two things that we need to observe. What are the things that we need to be as a leader, and what are the qualities or things that we should be doing as a leader? So for being a leader, we have to be calm all the time. So our employees are looking at us. If they see that we are panicking, they will be panicked. they will panic as well. So it's always good that we would be showing calmness every time we see them, no? So it's what we call grace under pressure for Filipinos, but it's always being calm, because when we are calm, it's where the new chain of thought comes in. Second is, let's be confident and optimism. So remember, how do you see this glass? Half empty or half full? We always see this glass. We should always see this glass half full. So we should still be optimistic that the new norm will succeed. We have to be confident, okay, that our organization will succeed. So it starts with our self-esteem. It starts with how we exude confidence so that we can rally our people to be optimistic as well. Third is, we need to be courageous. Okay, courageous, not braving, no, the braving the streets, going to the office. Courageous is making tough decisions if need be, because it's always about business survival during crisis, and we have to have courage in terms of making rough decisions as well. So we always need to understand and look into our strategy and align all our decisions, okay, with our strategy. Then we have to be empathetic. I think we Filipinos are very good at it. We always put our shoes, no, on the shoes of other people. And that will help us decide whether it would be safe for our employees, would it risk our employees, would it risk the business. But as I always mention when I give the talk, okay, we always need to understand that during the pandemic crisis, pandemic outbreak, it's not just the employees that we need to take care of. We also need to put ourselves in the shoes of our business. If we are the leaders of this business, if we are the owners, how can we strike the balance of taking care of to our employees and at the same time, providing providing or making sure that business is still operational. Okay, so we have to strike this two. Okay, we have to strike a balance between these two. Otherwise, we will not be able to survive the crisis. Okay, and then of course, once again, resiliency. Okay, in fact, in one of my talk, I was saying that resiliency and agility would be the next two core competence that a talent must possess, no? Okay, so that they would be able not just to adapt but be successful in the new norm. As a leader, we also have to express our vision. So we have to always rally our people. What's our vision? What's the vision of the organization based on the new strategy that we created? We have to communicate authentically. Surprisingly, this is one of the hurdle of all businesses, or most of the businesses, how to communicate to our employees. Okay, we always need to make sure that our employees understand what's going on. We need to be transparent, not to cause panic, but we need to make them transparent. We need to be transparent to them so that they would understand as well the challenges that we are experiencing, because most of them do have feedback, suggestions of how we can make things better. So be authentic when we communicate to the employees, because right now, the genuine concern or the malasakit, okay, our employees is also looking for that. Okay, by the way, malasakit is not just in the form of cash assistance. So it can also be in the form of reaching out to them, understanding difficulties they're going through, okay, helping them try to find optimistic or to find positive things in what's happening now. So being at home gives us more time with our family. Okay, gives us more time to do some of the things that we're not able to do. So again, it's not just about financial assistance, but it's also about making them feel that we truly are concerned about their welfare. And then we need to act on things, as mentioned. Okay, resiliency, acting fast, speed. That's what is expected from us. And we always need to seek clarity. A lot of guidance, guidelines are being released by the government agencies. Okay, we need to always seek clarity, or in fact, seek improvement, on how we can be better, how we can go beyond the guidelines set forth by the government, because this is what our business needs. And when we communicate, when we do things, when we implement strategies, let's make it simple and purposeful. We have to always align it to our strategy, to our objectives, to our end goal. So again, just would like to highlight, as leaders, we have to express a vision, communicate authentically, act on things, seek clarity, and keep things simple. So those are just my insights for this morning with regards to how to manage the organization during a crisis. Okay, so Jester.
Hi. All right. We're just waiting for our next speaker to connect. So meanwhile, we're opening the session. No, should you have any questions, just place it down below, and then our speaker will try to answer those questions. And then may I also inform you that we will be having a working lunch break since available naman ito no sa home natin no. Very Mari-reach naman natin yung ating mga plates, no? So pwede naman natin na mapanood itong live session no, while we are taking our lunch. So let's just wait for our next speaker to connect. And then if wala tayong questions, we'll take a break muna. We'll take a break muna. Alright, thank you for tuning in with us. So again, we still have time. So kung meron kayong questions, comment lang kayo dito sa ating live video on Facebook group dito sa Luzon HR Council. So we have a lot of viewers actually, no? Nasa 131 and kanina umabot siya ng 180. So sana no, marami pang makapag-join dito and invite also others no to join this Facebook group Luzon HR Council. Okay, so standby at magkakaroon nga tayo ng announcement of winners later para dito sa mechanics natin at game for the raffle na 15% discount coupon of the CPHR Discount Learning Program. Not this June 18 and 19 but on the next assembly. So yun, 5 winners ang ating bibigyan ng papremyo dito. So beside from your topic, Ms. Vivian, do you have anything to share while we are waiting for the next speaker?
Okay. I think probably what happened to my
Yeah, so we have our next speaker na.
sure.
All right, so we'll let you go and we'll see you later again this afternoon. Thank you again, Ms. Vivian, for joining this Philippine HR Assembly 2020.
Thank you very much as well. Thank you all.